Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Engler Journey podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Vanderford, and today I am here with the owner and founder of FanPlex, right, Nate Freyhof, and it's so nice to have you here today.
Yeah, it's been great, being part of Engler, but yeah, I'm happy to be here today.
Yeah, and I know you're from Michigan, so you're
Yes.
from Hamilton, Michigan.
Yep.
So what was your first experience like coming to Nebraska?
Yeah.
Did you get a runza? Did you have chili and a cinnamon roll?
Yeah. So, exactly. So first thing, I love Nebraska. The people here are great, but like the first big shock for me was, I grew up kind of like right there. We use our hand as a map.
Oh,
but like
exactly.
5 miles from the coast. So, I was by water all the time, Lake Michigan, and it was a blast in the summers. So fun there. But coming out to Nebraska, it was like, okay, well, there's not really any water. And like, there's maybe Lake Holmes, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But like, I had to that was a big adjustment. And the other thing too was, I really love the genuine aspect of people out here, how it's just like, they'll hold doors open. They'll love to have conversations and stuff like that. And they'll be open-minded. So, it's been a great experience here so far.
Yeah, definitely. And I loved going to Michigan. When I went there, I went to Mackinac Island. It's such a pretty state. But why did you want to come to the Engler program when you came to UNL? How did you discover it?
Yeah, so I was coming out for a college visit, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to Nebraska yet. I was looking at a few other colleges, and Karen Francis and Sue Ellen, which are on East Campus, they were like, yeah, you should check out Engler. And I always had the idea of doing something with like entrepreneurship, and I kind of was like, this would be really cool to do before I even thought about coming to Engler. So I kind of had an idea of building something, but then I was like, oh my goodness, I've not seen this anywhere else, where it's basically daycare for entrepreneurs. You can go in, build your own stuff, learn, get mentored, and actually do something rather than have like PowerPoints in a class. Because like, I really like the application aspect. So I kind of just like came across it when I was in a visit, and I have not looked back since. I've like been in it for 3 years, and it's been so great to be part of. So yeah.
Yeah, and what is the business that you've created? FanPlex Graphics, right? Or just FanPlex?
Yeah, so basically in short, I do custom website development for product-based companies that are D2C. So what that looks like is I use Shopify for the software. And so different companies will come to me, and I'll work on improving the design and development of it. And from there, like the ultimate outcome that we aim to have is like increased conversion rates and average order values to drive revenue. And then there's a few different things like building automations on the back end systems and stuff. So like your staff has more time and they're not worried about, oh, we have to fix this error, or, oh, we have to handle this customer support issue, and so on. So it's kind of like, I've coined the term Shopify wizard, and people have started to call me that too. So that's kind of what I stick with. But
yeah. So you're kind of helping people save time with their businesses. Yeah. By helping them on the design side, their brand, those types of things.
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah. So what's your major then?
Yeah. So I'm ag business management major.
Oh, okay.
Minoring in Engler, and then also I have a minor in ad PR, and it's kind of a funny thing because like I'm in ag business management, and what I'm doing right now is not necessarily related to it. Like I had to, like, for coding and stuff like that, I just sat down and I was like, okay, we're gonna learn Shopify, Liquid, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, like your basic coding languages, and then I had to learn like Photoshop, and then Figma, and all these different like design softwares and stuff. And so my major's over here. What I do is kind of over here. But I like to see the overall picture with like ag business management, and that kind of helps with the business side of things, not the actual deliverable side of things.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure if you were working for an ag business, helping their design page, that would transfer. Those skills would still transfer. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, very cool. So it seems like you've just dove in head first here in the Engler program. So what have been some of your favorite experiences that you've had?
Yeah, so through Engler, I would say one of the the best experiences I had was this summer. And that was because I started this like a year ago in the fall, and I kind of had something, like I had it validated where I did in-depth customer discovery. Do that first before you do anything. Customer discovery is the root of your business. That's how you're gonna, you gotta know your customers. So I did that, and then started kind of working with different companies, but I was battling school and this in the spring. And so this summer I was like, I'm just going to go completely full time in it. And so I had time, which was great. But the best part was Enterprise Studio, which was run through Engler. And that was basically, we would meet every so often. You would have some mentors throughout the summer you can talk with, different people based on your strengths and weaknesses. And it was like probably the best experience I've had in Engler or in some school setting, because like I can't give that enough praise. Like if you're an Engler and you're starting to actually get to the point where you're growing, do Enterprise Studio, because that's going to actually get your feet off the, get moving. So
yeah, and I know you mentioned mentors. Who have been some of your favorite mentors?
Yeah, so Dave is a big one. I'm sure a lot of Engler people love Dave. He is, you kind of just, you go to him and you come away with it like a clear mind. I don't know how it works. Sometimes it's just like, he's a funny dude too, and he really encourages you to think without telling you what to do. And that's probably the best thing that I've kind of had in a mentor too, is because they develop critical thinking in you rather than saying, well, try this. So he's been a great mentor. Tom has also been a great mentor as well, because they've kind of guided me along with like how he's in the same way giving me like, well, have you tried this, or so on. And then Vishal over this summer was a great mentor. He gave me a lot of good pointers, where it was like, work with who your client trusts, and like that's a good way to be able to work with clients as well. So just like pointers like that. And Vishal has been absolutely fantastic to work with.
Yeah, and what have been some of your favorite websites you have worked on, and what have been maybe some challenges with that?
Yeah, so one we did over the summer was Atonal Headwear, and that's a wholesale company here in Lincoln. They sell blank like hats and stuff like that, and they sell them to screen printers or different companies that sell their own merch or like get hats embroidered. So they are the supplier to the screen printing manufacturers, and so there was a lot of custom things we had to build through that, which was great, like wholesale through the website, as in like there are quote apps you can use for that in Shopify, but you hit a limit depending on how many sales you're doing and different things like that. And then another fun one that we're working on, it's basically a printing company, and that's going to be like a 4+ month project. Maybe 6 months, it depends. And then there's a few others that I'm starting to work on. I just haven't been able to finally launch them because there's so many things moving along too, and they're in the starting phases and they're moving along.
Yeah, and I know that you really love this business, and your pillars, we have so many different pillars here in the Engler program. What would be one pillar, do you think, would relate to your business, and why? Yeah,
definitely I would say grit, and that's because you have to get back up after you get knocked down, and it's like sometimes you just have to just put one foot in front of the other when you don't see where it's going to lead, and you might be like, oh, this is like everything that's logical might tell you to stop, but like if you stay consistent at something long enough, do a good job, and you are trying to do the best you can possibly do at it, and in my case it's like I want to be able to give my clients the best possible experience and like deliverable as I possibly can. And so the grit to do that, where it's like sometimes you're staying up late trying to get it done, and sometimes you're like going and running around and getting pieces moved together, and so that's been big. And then also it's not all been sunshine and rainbows. Like there was like a time where I was like at the start of the summer where I was like, dang, I literally don't know if I can eat next week. Oh. And I was like, I'm not going to get a job. I need to figure this out. Sure, I have loving parents, but like, I need to figure this out, right? And so like having some grit to be able to be like, okay, how am I going to do this? And, you know, just put your nose down and just go.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the best things I've learned in Engler too, is grit.
Yeah, and what's some of the best advice you've been given through some of the classes that you've taken?
Yeah, so one of the big things is put other people first. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I'm very adamant about because, like, for me, I will always put my client first, and like I'm going to make sure that what I do benefits them, and it's not, I'm not doing it for a monetary purpose in mind, because the moment you do that, it shifts how you think about your business. Yeah. And the moment you start chasing dollar signs, it's like, one, people can see that. Two, it's not necessarily, at least for me, it's not really ethical. And three, it destroys the enjoyment out of it, right? So that's one. And then two would be find out who you want to work with, and the what will come later. So for me, it was like figuring out like, okay, I really love working with like mid-sized business owners that are starting to grow. They're starting to hit an inflection point where they're like, okay, I want to start delegating, and I need to get things moving along and, you know, get things in place. And I was like, okay, well, what is not fun in their life? And that's where Shopify came about. But yeah, find your who, and the what will come later. Yeah.
Definitely. No, that's very cool, because I mean, that's kind of what we do here in Engler, is talking about how can you make an impact, how can you leave a legacy on someone else's life, make their life better. So that's exactly what you're doing with FanPlex, right? Yes. Yep. Yes. So I also want to talk about too, if there was any movie, book, or TV show or song that you think relates to the Engler program and your life and your business, what do you think that would be?
Yeah. So if we're going, well, I'll give two. One, if it were to be kind of just like the vibe, if you want to get like a feel for it, I would say Rocky.
Oh,
for
yes.
Sure, because a lot of people that come in here are like underdogs, and like, you know, they have that mentality, and it's kind of like, okay, go in and do something. And like, nobody's telling you you can't. Right? Nobody's telling you that you can't start a business. I mean, sure, you have to comply with taxes and the IRS and stuff like that. Yeah. So, you know, like regulations and all those fun things. But at the end of the day, it's like you can actually go out and do something. And yeah, like the mentality of like just getting up every day and going out and being intentional, like kind of Rocky symbolizes that. And then the other thing, the book that I would recommend most people to read, or almost everyone to read, is All in Startup. And that is focused on customer discovery. And it's very much focused on not necessarily going and doing something because you can, but doing something because it is solving that problem for somebody. Because so many times, myself included, would jump to a conclusion of like, oh, customers must love this. And then you just go out and develop something and you do something, and then you didn't do your prior research and you figure out, okay, well, maybe they didn't like this. So I would recommend everyone to really dig into who your customers are, know them like the back of your hand, and then fix their problems. That's the biggest thing I've learned.
Yeah, definitely. I love those two choices, especially Rocky. Love that. Yeah. It's a great movie. And I know you said that you were also an athlete, you know, so you ran track, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So how do you think that relates to entrepreneurship?
Yes. So back in Michigan, I did like the 800, 400 mile, 2 mile, and then just relays like 4x8, 4x4. And basically, I grew up like in a running family. Like 3 of my siblings, they ran here at UNL for track and cross country. And then I kind of learned, like, running I would say track and cross country is probably one of the biggest sports that's great for entrepreneurship. And here's why. Football, you can get a fumble, right? You're like, oh, we lost the game, but we technically could have won it because we got a fumble and that was just a stupid error, and we could come back next time and we could do that. Or, oh, we should have won, but the refs were in the way. Oh, the refs and stuff. Running, there's a first place person and there's a second place person. Yeah. And that's it. There's no, oh, did the ref, it's literally just like you won or you lost. And the second thing that I like about it is anyone can do it. And like anyone can train out every single day and get good at it. And it's the same thing with like entrepreneurship and stuff. You can go out and you can be intentional every single day and be consistent, and that will help with success and so that's been good. And then third, work ethic. Like running, if you've done it, in the right way, it's not a pleasant experience. It hurts, and it teaches you how to deal with pain, not necessarily avoid pain, because you're all going to experience it. It's just how you handle pain and what your body and what your mind do to react to it. Because our coach back in Michigan, he was a Marine, and we were doing mid-distance. And so when you combine a Marine with mid-distance, that's not fun. That's a lot of 200 and 400 repeats, and that's a lot of throwing up just death. Oh, and man. So that really beat into my head, you're going to have pain, cool. It's just a feeling. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's just, it's not going to kill you. I mean, there's sure, but you're not going to probably die if you go out and run hard. Yeah. So it kind of just applied that, how you accept pain, deal with it, and move on to and apply it in different areas.
Yeah, I love that connection, and I really respect runners for what they can do. My gosh, seems like you really, you guys have to really train and really know what you're doing to be runners. But I love that connection with entrepreneurship. Yeah. So I also wanted to say, 20 years from now, what are you going to be most thankful for being in the Engler program when you look back on this podcast? Yeah.
The biggest thing, two things. One, the experience and the people. Because the people in Engler, you cannot get anywhere else. And it's very hard to find mentors that are willing to take time out of their day to help you succeed. That's not common. And I think it's that cannot be taken for granted. And the second thing is experience. To imagine that Paul was generous enough to give us a chance to have community and a system and so on to build a business. That's not common. Yeah. There's people that have to build out of their dorm rooms, right? And we have a facility and so on to do that. And so that for sure is don't take that for granted. And the people as well, all the experiences with Dave and so on. And it's the whole saying of the most memorable moments are usually the moments you either went through something tough or pain, and then you see the other side of it. And that's where it's Dave has seen ups and downs, and a lot of people that I've been with have seen ups and downs. And it's when you get to that, through that, it's really fun to look back on that and document it and be able to this podcast, be able to look back 20 years from now and see that. So.
Yeah, well, this has been so great. Yeah. I've loved hearing more about your story and talking about Michigan. Yeah. And we're playing Michigan State, so we're going to have to see what happens.
Yeah. I'm more of a Wolverine than I am a Spartan,
but still a representative.
Yes, but I'm still a Husker through and through.
Husker through and through. That's what we like to hear on this podcast. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah. I loved hearing more about your story and FanPlex and the many more people you'll help in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks for having me.